Hello, New Hope Church. It is Pastor Jim here, and we are up to episode 5, week 5, in our summer soul care series as we have been working through the topic of contentment. Now, unfortunately, contentment is not something that has it's not, you can't compartmentalize contentment. If I just work on this, I'll be content. If I just work on this, I'll be content. Because contentment has lots of areas that are intertwined and that really can't be separated. And so one of those areas, last week talked about health and becoming healthy so that we're not living with the discontentment of knowing that that we're harming ourselves by what we're putting into our bodies and not getting exercise. This week, I want to talk about procrastination. I think so much of our anxiety and our worry come because we procrastinate. We put things off that we know that we should be doing. Maybe certain responsibilities at work or at home that are hard to do. Certain responsibilities that we know we should do it. It's part of the things that are expected of us, but we just put it off and we put it off and we put it off, knowing that it's going to have to be done sometime. And so often when we procrastinate on things that we know we should be doing, responsibilities we know we should be doing, that thing never goes away. It's in the back of our mind and we know we should do it. We know it's important to do, and yet it just keeps nagging at us. And it's the same with certain relationship responsibilities. We know we should have that conversation with our parents or with our kids or with our spouse if we're married or with our best friends or someone. We need to have that conversation. Maybe we need to tell them that they hurt us, or we need to acknowledge that we hurt them, and we need to apologize and ask for forgiveness, or we need to let someone else know that they've harmed us, and we need to let them know that and let them know that they hurt us. Or certain bills that we just know need to be paid, and we realize that I know I got to pay this bill. I know it's going to be expensive. I know that it's going to cause me to have some issues later on, but I should pay this bill. And all the while, when we have those conversations that we know we need to have and we don't have them, that anxiety and that it builds up on the inside. And it's the same thing, when we don't pay our bills. We know that the more we put those things off, the more we don't pay the credit card off, it's going to continue to build interest. And all that while, it's just that the anxiety and the worry is just growing and growing in the back of our minds. And so oftentimes when we're living with that anxiety, then we start to do something to cope with those feelings. It's not fun to feel anxious. So oftentimes people will go a number of different ways. One big way that is they eat. I eat to not think about, what I need to be doing. And so then I start eating some junk food, or I start going out to eat, start eating fast food, because I just want to feel better. And the stuff that I eat makes me feel a little bit better, at least for a short amount of time. Well, the more I do that, the more weight I put on. The more weight I put on, then my clothes start to feel tight. Then I don't like, now I'm more unsatisfied. Now I've got the anxiety and the worry that, gosh, people are going to notice that I'm putting on weight. So now what do I do with those feelings? Well, I either go eat some more, or maybe I might go spend money. And so then I'm looking at that, then I start to spend more money than what I'm bringing in. And then when this bill comes due or that bill comes due, now, what am I going to do? Where's the money going to come from? Because the more that I'm spending money, then I feel better temporarily, but then I start to worry because now the bills are starting to build up. And I know that rent's coming. I know the mortgage payment's coming. I know the electric bill's coming. The utilities are coming. Where's the money going to come from? Because I spend it here, here, here. And the anxiety and the discontentment continues to grow and continues to grow. Well, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so if we know that, if you know that you procrastinate, then self-discipline is the medication. And it's not eating. It's not spending money. It's learning how to begin to be disciplined in areas that we might have a hard time with. There's an interesting passage in the book of James chapter 1. I want to read that. It's James chapter 1, verses 21 through 27. It says this: "Therefore, putting aside all filthiness and all that remains of wickedness, in humility receive the word implanted, which is able to save your souls. But prove yourselves doers of the word, and not merely hearers who delude themselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks at his natural face in a mirror. For once he has looked at himself and gone away, he has immediately forgotten what kind of person he was. But one who looks intently at the perfect law, the law of liberty, that abides by it, not having become a forgetful hearer, but an effectual doer, this man shall be blessed in what he does. If anyone thinks himself to be religious and yet does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this man's religion is worthless. This is pure and undefiled religion in the sight of our God and Father, to visit orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself unstained by the world." There are three things in here that I want us to focus on. The first, he says to put aside wickedness and to obey God. As we do that, we are starting to operate with a clean conscience. All of that anxiety that is building up in the back of our mind, that starts to go away. Number two, if we are living obediently, then we will be blessed by God. He will bless us because of our obedience. And number three, true faith, let me put my glasses on. True faith is caring for those around us and focusing on others instead of ourselves. When we are looking at others instead of pleasing ourselves, we are now living the way God desires us to. So, very interesting, right at the very end of verse 27, he uses the word unstained. He uses the word unstained. When we are living in obedience to God, we are living unstained. When we bring gluttony, when we bring greed, when we bring jealousy, when we bring lust into our lives, we are now living stained. We are living with stains on us, stains of sin. But when we are living unstained, when we are living in obedience to God, then those stains are not there. We're not staining ourselves with the sin of disobedience. So as you are going about the rest of your summer, my suggestion to you would be in this area of contentment, when procrastination comes, when that temptation to procrastinate comes, don't put off what God is calling you to do. Just do it. Do whatever he's asking you to do. Don't put it off. Don't let that anxiety and that worry build up in the back of your mind. Just do what he's called you to do, and you won't get stained. Everybody have a great rest of your week, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday.